All right, it is the June 20th, Tuesday edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Meteorologist Matthew East here along with you. Very soupy air mass remains in place. Here's a look from the 5 o'clock hour from our Greensboro Tower camera. Clouds breaking up just a bit. Some slightly drier air trying to move on in after a pretty wet and unsettled day yesterday. There's the Charlotte Dowd YMCA camera. Same deal. Some clouds breaking up overhead. The temperature 73 though. Still way up there with that dew point at 70. It is a soupy air mass still in place overall across the region. These were highs back on Monday afternoon. Really high humidity over the southeastern part of the country once again. And he had high temperatures in the 80s and 90s across the Carolinas. Officially yesterday in Charlotte, 90 degrees the high. That was 3 above the average of 87. Greensboro's high temperature at 87. That was 1 above the average of 86 degrees. But it was up to 93 in Columbia, 94 in Fayetteville, state capital of Raleigh at 92. Certainly a pretty steamy weather day. And then this was the radar through the afternoon and the evening hours, and then through the night last night. Had these slow-moving areas of pretty heavy thunderstorms and a lot of issues with some flash flooding in certain parts of the region. I'll show you some of these reports here. Had a few clusters of flooding issues, some down into Union County on the eastern side of the Charlotte metro, and then a lot of issues up around the Triad area overnight too. You had water flowing into a home there in Randleman during the 1 o'clock hour. A lot of issues with some street flooding around Greensboro and also over into the Burlington areas too. And again, similar type of reports as you went down through parts of Union County on the eastern side of the Charlotte metro. A lot of issues with some flooding of roads and that type of thing with pretty heavy rains as the night unfolded. Now, this is the radar as I cut the video, again during the 5 o'clock hour. The heaviest stuff over toward I-95. Drier air trying to slip in north and west of Interstate 85. Still have some rain and storms down in parts of Alabama and parts of Georgia too. But watch this. As you go through the afternoon, it'll be South Carolina and then mainly over here in the eastern sections of North Carolina where the lion's share of the showers and storms will occur today. Drier air trying to work in to those areas north and west of Interstate 85. And that's where you have a frontal boundary kind of set up shop just to the southeast of I-85. You notice more sunshine in the mountains and the foothills. More showers and storms as you head further to the south and east. So high temperatures today look like that across the region. We'll take a peek at our Greensboro skycast this morning. Triad kind of on that edge between the soupier air and the drier air. So as you look off to the northwest, more sunshine today, high of around 82. A variable wind at 3 to 8. Now down to the Gulf, I'll show you more on the tropics coming up. That's potential tropical storm Cindy. More on that in just a second. But as we get into our Wednesday in the Carolinas, pretty quiet day. Now still closer to the coast, you'll have some areas of showers and storms, but a lot of the upstate up through the foothills and the Piedmont of North Carolina. Not bad for Wednesday. Moisture begins to increase again Thursday, though, so back to at least a few afternoon thunderstorms Thursday afternoon. Highs getting a little bit warmer once again, too. And then our forecast for Friday and the weekend depends on the remnants of whatever develops in the Gulf of Mexico. So let's kind of focus on the tropics here real quick. You do have Brett. The system in the eastern Caribbean Sea kind of beat the system in the Gulf of Mexico to the punch. So that is actually Brett there in the eastern Caribbean Sea. Now this will probably skirt near South America and then get deeper into the Caribbean Sea as we go forward in time. That might be an issue down the road. But in the short term, let's focus on what's happening in the Gulf of Mexico, and that is that system that is on the verge of getting classified as a tropical storm. Another reconnaissance flight due in there shortly, and we'll see what's happening when they get in there and if we have a closed low-level circulation. But for the time being, you have tropical storm warnings up for much of the Louisiana coast with the anticipation that this will become a tropical storm. It should stay pretty weak. It probably will not be able to make it to hurricane intensity. So you're not looking at a huge problem with wind, but certainly you have some gusty winds that, if this does develop, could be in the 50 to 60 mile per hour range for much of the Texas coast and the Louisiana coast over the next 48 hours. But as is often the case with tropical systems, the weaker type of tropical systems as this will likely be, it's rain. That'll be the biggest problem. And so that central Gulf Coast region could see 5, 10 plus inches of rain over the next 48 to 72 hours. So pretty big rain event. That's probably the biggest issue with that Gulf of Mexico developing system. All right, that is it for the latest edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.